So guys, I'm so excited to show you this deck list off. Obviously, I put out a video a couple of days ago explaining some new cards that were coming out. But this is the final product, this is the deck list that I know you've been wanting, and I'm here to show it off. I'm going to go through the card by card. It's probably going to be a little bit longer than normal. I haven't uploaded a UA deck list in a while, and this is the most base deck list that I've come up with ever for UA. The deck is crazy, it's completely different from any deck that I've produced before, and I think you're going to love it. So we'll go in by card now. We're playing one Gearfried. Obviously this is your Isolde target. This is the card that you're going to add from Isolde normally. It's usually Gearfried or Dunker. Depending on the board you've got, Gearfried is the setup for next turn, Dunker is the search if you're getting a Nibiru shuffle into the deck to get a manager out onto the field. So it depends what your board state it's in, but this is usually your add up for Isolde. And obviously this produces an extra negate for us as well, and the battle phase being able to take one of our opponent's cards. Pretty damn good. Then we're playing two Iris, of course. Iris UA, UA Iris. This is the card that has changed UA, and I can't not play the card. The card is so crazy. Having the extra form of interaction from Iris on the field, just from having either a signing deal or a heroic call being activated, is crazy good. We're playing my standard UA ratio, which is 2 manager. 2 manager, 1 dunker, 1 blockbacker, 1 rebounder, 1 ace. Could up to ace to 2. I am contemplating running ace at 2, just because if you're going for the grind game, ace at 2 is great on the 3rd turn. 3 libero and 2 midfielder. My standard UA lineup. I don't like slugger. I don't particularly like goalkeeper. Goalkeeper has its uses, but I'm happy to run without it. But this is my standard UA lineup. And then obviously we've got the new card, Senko the Skybolt, extra extender, normal summon, and it has this built-in destruction effect if we've used it for Isolde and we're going second, or used it for another link summon going second. So it's pretty good, Senko is. We're playing 1 Scythe, of course. We can always Scythe. Scythe in this deck is good because we don't have to run a special package for it. We don't have to run DPE or anything like that, because manager's ability to pop a card on the field is really good when you've got Scythe, and our usual standard combo does involve Dagda, so having manager and Scythe is really good. It's like the standard Scythe a lot that I like. And then we're playing Infernoble Knight Renowned and Fireflint Lady, as these are our 2 for Isolde. So we're usually the special summon Renowned by sending Durandal to the grave. Activate Durandal to get Fireflint, go into a rank 1 or go into a link with the both of them. Really good, really easy, really nice. Standard combo. Playing 3 Effect Veiler. So in our hand trap line, we're only playing 5 hand traps because the rest of the deck is extenders. But 5 hand traps, and we're playing the hand traps that matter to us for our deck to make it more consistent. So Effect Veiler and Infinite Impermanence both have the effect to negate, which is really key if we're using Iris, because having that negation allows us to get out to Iris. But we're also running Effect Veiler as well because it's part of our Crystal Hyper Firebrax combo. Obviously the deck doesn't itself run tuners, because I was toying around with Jet Synchron and like Destrudo, but I don't like the idea of running an extra tuner that we never really see and we aren't able to normal summon properly. So running Effect Veiler just allows us to get there. And the only other thing as well is we do run 1 extra tuner in the deck, and this is only when we brick really. But Infernoble Knight Renowned, if we've run Fireflint Lady and we've got Renowned in our hand, we can special summon Renowned, and it has the ability to become a tuner because it's been summoned that way. So Renowned in hand as well as Fireflint Lady might seem like a brick, but in fact it's not, because it allows you to go into a Crystal Hauka Firebrax line. So there's a couple of lines in the deck that are different than normal, because you're never really sure what you're going to do. If you brick with Renowned, it's not a brick, you can get into a Crystal Hauka Firebrax, and that's why we're running 3 Effect Veiler, because I was thinking 2, but 3 is good because we can always see it in hand, but we've also always got it in deck for our Hulk. Obviously 3 Heroic Call, I spoke about this in the video the other day, but this card's just crazy good for UA. Having mitigation effect as well, it goes well with Iris. It's basically another signing deal, which is really cool, because who doesn't want the free extension? Obviously we're running the Foolish Burial Goods package. You can't play UA without the Goods package, I don't think. So 3 goods and 2 penalty box. Standard ratios, never run 3 box, but you always want to run 2, just because 1 is not enough in case you want to send another one to get something else for next turn. 1's your Indal, obviously this is via Soul Send. Being able to use this to get 5 Flint Lady as well, really easy. There is an argument maybe to run Power Jersey as well in the side deck, which I'm contemplating. I do love signing Power Jersey because it's one of the most powerful UA cards, but we're not really going for the OTK package. 3 Hyper Stadium, obviously can't go anywhere without 3 stadiums. So 3 Hyper Stadium and 3 UA Stadium. This is your standard package. You want to run 6, you want to see it all the time. And we're able to by running 6, and it's basically, you technically run 9 because of Foolish Burial Goods. But this is the package, that's what we like for Field Spells because we always want to see it. There is ways that we can get around it. If we get a sign-in deal and a manager, sign-in deal for manager, you can usually end up on 4 UAs, which is really what you want to see every turn. You want to be able to go into 4 UAs and then being able to link away. I was thinking about Locker Room as well, but that's going to be for another video. Okay, we're moving on to the extra deck. This is where it gets a little bit spicy. So we're on Baron de Fleur, of course, and the question is how do we make it, but obviously we go into with the Kriston Hauke Firebrax combo, as well as with Dagda, which is really key because Dagda will set Scythe, and then we will pop Scythe with Manager on our opponent's turf, or we will pop Scythe with Wonder Magician, get Scythe onto field, use Wonder Magician's effect to synchro, and then we will get a rank 10. You can also do this if your Wonder Magician is stopped, and if your Scythe is stopped, if it's called by the grave, or DD crowed on your Scythe, we can use TG Wonder Magician and Perfect Ace because we usually have Ace on the field to go into a Baron. So that's pretty good. 1 Zeus, obviously, never really go into Zeus, but the ability to go into it is there. That's why we play 1 Hope Harbinger as well, because we've got a couple of rank 8s. So there's ability there to go into that. You don't really see it, and we can always do it with John Grapper as well. This is our Isolde package as well. 2 level 1 warrior monsters, which is the card is made for Isolde. This card is literally made to use with Isolde. It's crazy, and it's really good in UA because of the way we link. Because we usually be linking Liberu and Manager away, and then using this card we'll be able to bring Liberu back, and we've got an extra body, and we've got an extra form of interaction with Liberu where we wouldn't normally. Underworld Goddess, of course, I can't go anywhere without this card being included in my deck. Borrelsword Dragon, this is VOTK. Same with Access Code Talker, but I play both of them. Really, Borrelsword is a flex spot. I was looking for a good link 3, but I could only get really to Decode Talker or Rattan the Heavenly General, and I didn't particularly like either of them. So I moved it up to a link 4 for Borrelsword just because it comes up sometimes, and sometimes it's easier to get into than Access Code. Access Code is here obviously because we've got Unicorn, we can play the package. 1 BLS, obviously we're playing a Warrior deck, and this card can be a bit annoying for people to out. 1 Unicorn again with the Access Code. 1 Isolde, crazy card. This is why we don't play Extravagance or Prosperity, because we don't really want to get rid of any cards from our extra deck. Because if we banish the wrong card, we're done for from the combo. 1 Dagda, of course, this is the Scythe set. Can't go with this deck without it. 1 Hauke Firebrax, of course, for the extra line that we play, and then 1 Masquerena, just in case, because I like to use Masquerena with Underworld Goddess to go like that. But this, and then the side deck, I'm not really sure what to do with the side deck. I'm always trying to keep up with the meta. But we're playing 3 Nibiru, 3 Kaiju, 2 Lightning Storm, 1 Feather Duster. Turnover Tactics, I think the Despia matchup especially can be difficult. You board into 3 Turnover Tactics and 3 D Barrier. You call Fusion. You'll be able to call Fusion, but if you're not able to see the D barrier, you're able to get Turnover Tactics, and it will just break the board anyway. Turnover Tactics is just really good against all meta right now. But yeah, that's been the deck profile. Hope you enjoy that. Let me know what you think. I think the ratios are pretty good. I think the deck's really strong. It can make a lot of different lines. Has a lot more opportunity because UA previously. It's hard to get a lot of combos going. Like mainly, you just end up with 4 UA, and you don't end up with much more. But then, like sometimes we can end up with like an Apollosa, a Psyflock, an Omni, an Iris, and a Liberu. Like we can end up with like 5 or 6 points of interaction, which is crazy for UA. I'm so excited to show you off some of the combos that I've got, some of the link plays that I've got. But yeah, we're going to go into a combos and I'm going to show you what this deck can actually do. So guys, we're in the combo part of the video, so I'm just going to talk you through a couple of interactions that we've got. But obviously we're going for standard UA Hyper with a Foolish, and then we've got the UA Stadium as well. So we'll do that. This is the standard combo to get 4 UA, getting the manager special summon from Time and Deal, then activating the Stadium to get an extra search, and not using the manager straight away, but getting the manager on the last search so that we can get the manager out for 4. From this 4, this is a standard combo going into a Soul here. And we'll add the Dunker because we've already got the Gearfried in hand, notably. We've sent in Durandal, of course, getting into Renowned, activating Durandal, targeting Renowned, doesn't matter who you target, but getting 5 Flint activating, getting onto the field. From here we go into Heroic, getting Liberi back out into the field, then we go into Dagda, activating Heroic Call so we can trigger the Dagda to set the scythe. Heroic Call is going to get his ult, going from his ult into an Appaloosa, ending the turn on Appaloosa, Ace, Liberi and Blockbacker. Pretty good activating Liberi here because we want to get manager out onto the field to pop the scythe. Obviously they're able to summon with Ascension first, and then they also take away our Appaloosa, but we'll chain Blockbacker, chaining manager to get scythe, and it's just a crazy chain link there. Getting scythe onto the field, obviously we're a little bit late to the party, but we've negated the summon of the new Dark World fusion. But we keep progressing here, we'll have to negate that because that's the Dark World that summons itself to your side of the field, and we do not want that. Because I think there's some effects that then trigger in the hand from Dark World, and we don't want to see that. Obviously we're just going through the danger here, but we're not really getting anywhere. And the Cypher is going to cause problems. We get rid of our Ace, which is not an issue, but we're going into Gearfried here, which is great. We'll head to the battle phase, obviously getting the Gearfried to take away that fusion. Obviously we're not doing damage here, but we've got an Effect Vader in hand which will summon. We'll go into a Hulk, activating Hulk to get the Effect Vader, of course, like we said, playing free. But this is good because we can activate the Hulk to get Wonder Magician, trying to pop the back row, but it's getting Fingers Ascension. But here, obviously, triggering Wonder Magician will go into Defleur. So we've still got 2 negates and a Blockbacker on field. I don't see much more they can get. We've just got to wait for the right time to activate each one. And that's going to be a perfect one to use Blockbacker, and we'll bait out the Dark World fusion with the Baron, and then we've got Gearfried as well on the Graveyard effect, and from there they're not going to do much. We're going into the second one here as well, and it's against Despia, and I had to show off a Despia because this is what's currently being shown in the meta right now. So they go through their standard Despia plays, obviously going on to Mirror Jade, and they'll send the Albion, and they'll end on with the branded in red, which will trigger in our standby phase. To get in the Guardian Chimera, but then get into the standard where they end on Dramatage and Mirror Jade onto the field, so it's 3 Despia monsters here to deal with, pretty much. Again, we've opened pretty well. 2 Silent Deal's not ideal though, but the Veil of the Liberi, which is really good for us, because obviously they just haven't read the cards, because why would you ever Veil of Liberi on our turn? We've got Senko here, which is a free extension that I was talking about. We've got Dunker, and we're going to a 4 UA, and with 4 UA we'll negate the effects, we'll trigger Mirror Jade, targeting our manager, banishing it, but the effect goes through with our manager anyway. So then now we're free for Isolde, which is always the key. Durandal, obviously this is a standard Isolde play, but it's just under no restriction here because we're not worried about what they can do. Fire Flint, and this is where it's slightly different because we're going to go to Borrelsword, getting Gearfried onto the field as well, and then going into Borrelsword. Obviously the double attack, Dunker as well, Gearfried in, and that is game, OTK style. That's just what the explosiveness of the deck. We can still OTK without Power Jersey and all that. It's easily be able to do. Obviously now we're playing Crystal Beast, which is nice. Their new support, everyone seems to be playing this on EDO Pro. Obviously I'm playing on pre-release because these Heroic Call and Senko are out yet, so pre-release, so obviously I'm playing a lot of Crystal Beast because of the structure deck. But the deck seems competent. You look at this, like they end on Baguska and a Vespacito, as Rescard would say. Well, yeah, Baguska's is a little bit of a house. He's a bit annoying, a bit of floodgate to deal with, but we seem to be alright. But we've got Ronaldo in hand as well, so we've probably got a Hulk line available to us. But this is the sort of hands that you're expecting to see. I trigger manager, even though I know full well that Baguska's going to negate the effect of manager, but just to get Senko out as well. And then I'm like, we're going to Isolde for Fire Flint, because we've got now special summoning, getting Durandal back. And we actually we're going to go into World Goddess because we didn't have to have a Gooska, and that is the out, and we're still able to put a progressive board up with signing deal, block back at ace. It's pretty much as good as you can get on that board. We'll trigger Zenith, we'll block back using Dunker to hit over it, pop in the Bested Nito, activate Underworld Goddess on the Graveyard effect, clear my board, and from here, 900 left, but we've got an ace, an Underworld, and a blockbacker, and they are going to scoop. Here, I thought this was interesting because we just passed turn to us straight away, but then I looked at the hand, Mystic Mind, Nibiru, DD Crow. This is pretty much to show you what happens with the DD Crow interaction on Scythe. It just happened to come up, and I thought it was good to show off. Obviously, this hand's slightly not great. I mean, we saw both stadiums, which is good, and we've got Manager and Iris now, so that's always key because that's an extra extender. But going in now, it's old. Honestly, as well, they're holding Nib, and I don't know if they held Nib because they thought Ace would negate it. I'm not sure, but we're going into Hulk now as well. Getting the Effect Veiler. Going into Dagda, Durandal on the Ace, so we've got a Dagda, Hulk, and an Ace. So we've got the Effect Veiler as well. We have to negate the Mystic Mind here, so we'll trigger Hulk for TG Wonder Magician as well. TG Wonder Magician pop into Scythe, they'll DD Crow our Scythe, and we'll chain Wonder Magician on 1-for-1 on for Ace to get Baron because we've already triggered Ace's negation. Trigger Effect Veiler because I wanted to get Iris out, but we didn't let it stay on the field long enough, and we go into Enema. But we'll negate Agent, and they'll scoop from there. The last game we're playing, I thought it was Bee Trooper. It might just be Insect, but this is what happens when we don't draw or want to go into a Sold. This is the best interaction as well. If we've got Sign and Deal Manager, we can get Senko and Iris and Manager out onto the field real quick, and this is just the end of the game. Like, this is so crazy. You can just swarm a field without going into links, and you've got damage on field. This is one of my favourite interactions of the deck because you can just summon all 3 cards straight away. Again, this is a bit of a break. We don't have the UA Stadium, but the sign and deal with Manager, Iris, and Senko is exactly what you want to see because you just get the 3 bodies out onto the field, and this is your 4 material pretty much. And we've got an Imperm as well. But this is your 4 material going into a Sold, as most combos in this video do. Isolde is so good for the deck. I don't know why I didn't regularly play Isolde before, to be honest, but Isolde now is such a great card in this deck. The only issue is the hand trap. If you get hand trapped on Isolde, it's a little bit of an issue, but ending on Apollos, Nibiru, and Iris, using the Nibiru to be able to swap out for Manager is going to be key. We don't even set the Scythe lock up. But we don't need to because you can get Rival Rebounder, go to Manager and pop the Sapphire Pegasus, which will end the game pretty much for them because Apollosa will negate the Zenith. Here, and then, yeah, they'll activate Fractal, they'll go into, we're going to get Karas, and we're getting a normal summon Karas, and that's where Imperm comes out, and just ends this game. And that's the combos for you guys. I hope you've enjoyed that. I hope that shines a little bit of light. Obviously it's slightly longer than normal, but I haven't uploaded a deck list in a while, and I feel like this deck list was more competent and a little bit more complicated than my last deck list. Obviously the lines of the combos are slightly different, Isolde, Hulk, but then you can just use normal standard UA, the UA4 as I like to call it, because you get 4 bodies out into the field at all times, and then you can link line from there. You've got an access code line, you've got a Borrow Sword line, an Apollosa line, even a Zeus if you go into Hope Harbinger. But yeah, let me know what you think, guys. I hope you enjoy the deck list. Let me know if you're going to try the deck out and what you think about the deck and how competent you think the deck is. But thank you guys for watching. If you want me to upload more deck lists of UA, hit me up. Thank you very much. See you in a bit.